as you know, the apologies are for personal conflict of appointment, for accepting the apologies that I received.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Over to you, Chair.
Right, over to me. Right, declarations. Oh, yeah. To receive any apologies for declarations of interest on items on the agenda.
Is there anything?
No.
Minutes
Sign
of
the minutes of the meeting.
The next one is the minutes of the meeting. I've had no correspondence from councillors for any changes.
No, so we're all happy.
Are you all?
Yeah.
So if you would
Squiggle.
initial each page and then
Initial each page.
initial each page, then name,
Sign
sign and date. Okay?
I ain't there yet.
You do say I write too much.
You do.
Yeah, sorry.
7-3.
Yeah.
23.
Thank you. And then we are on to number 5. Discuss matters arising.
Right, that's matters arising
From previous meeting.
and council business, social media.
Social media.
Yeah, it was me, wasn't it?
Yeah, you asked this to.
Anybody puts anything on social media, it is their own personal, it is not the council's.
Yeah.
That's been made clear as that.
Yeah, so I'll minute that. You as individuals have a right, like anybody, to put comments on, and with council's permission, the clerk will put releases on. Okay? So, sorry, apologies. Would you like to mention that
Right.
now?
Can we please do the public session at the end of the meeting?
Could I just ask one question first? Is it possible to shut the door?
Well, there's 2 people just
Stood
in the
outside.
hallway, so-
No.
No. Sorry.
Do you want us to come in and shut the door?
Yeah.
Yeah?
So, sorry, I put from the social media, personal opinions, apart from if there's a release from the clerk. Okay, and the public is going at the end. So the
Then they've
next,
got policies to update.
yeah, so we've got 2 policies
Yeah.
this month. Basically, it's just an update of the grant policy
Yes, I agree with that one.
that you've all put out.
Yeah.
Basically, it's just tightening up about the information we need before handing out a grant. We need accounts, we need bank,
Yeah.
to see that we're giving it appropriately. And then there is just the update on the data protection
Yeah,
policy.
yeah.
You've all had it in your packs.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
Are you okay?
Yeah. Right. Meeting venue.
Hang on.
Oh, right, okay.
Well, they should go in finger rolls.
So, meeting venue here.
Yeah, meeting venue and safety, number of people.
Yeah, so Nancy, we've had told us that in here, it's the amount of chairs.
Yeah.
We have to warn you that we're not allowed people standing, but
Well,
that is your choice. Okay? The second thing was, we have looked at the grammar school,
Yeah,
but they've come back and said we're not allowed regular meetings.
yeah, which I find very strange, as the lights have regular meetings in there.
Apparently you're only allowed ad hoc meetings there, which is in the constitution, so.
Yeah, right, okay.
It's not in the constitution at all.
Okay, so if maybe somebody could bring me some more
Yes, we are
evidence.
going to
Don't you have to
find
vote to
evidence
have
for
the
you,
public
don't worry.
speaking?
Sorry?
Don't you have to vote to have the public speaking?
But
Yes.
that is the evidence that
That
I have
includes you as well,
received.
yeah?
Everybody.
Yep.
Is that the answer I got in an email
Was
today.
that Dave?
We'll come to the end of that, but the emails I've had, it's ad hoc and they won't allow.
Yeah,
Is individual basis and no regular meetings will be considered currently. So that's on hold at the moment. So point 8.
meeting time to consider a change to start at 6:30. That is a no-no from me.
I
7
can't
o'clock.
do it.
No, that's
You
fine.
moved-
That's
It's
fine.
been moved from 7:30 to 7
It was
before.
just asked to be put on the agenda, so
Yeah.
put it on the
That's fine.
agenda.
It
Yeah.
was, it was at 7:30 and it's been
Okay.
moved to 7.
Result to leave.
Yeah. Allotments, review, any updates?
there's just two little things. The compost heap that's in the corner that is for the cemetery only, we want to put a fence at the back of that because we are getting some dumping on there again. And there was a large bill to the council before because people were putting stuff on there. So we're going to put a fence at the back side
Yeah.
to keep that just for the caretaker's use.
Well, why not take it further up and put an allotment in that corner? It was an allotment originally, was that, before it was
And
put
bring it
in?
more towards the cemetery,
Yes,
and then we can have a half plot.
half plot there, and that would do away with your problem, wouldn't it?
Aye, okay.
Looking to it.
Are you all agreeable for that?
Yeah.
Half near the cemetery. And there is someone desperate for a small plot.
Right, so there we go then.
The only other thing I was asked about was the fencing of the individual plots.
It's up to
That's
individual.
not our responsibility.
Okay, tell me,
We do the perimeter of the actual allotments,
yeah.
and then it's up to everybody else to do their own.
Oh, and then the, we're taking questions at the end. Okay. The only other thing was allotments was the numbers. These are the numbers we're suggesting for putting on the post so we can clearly identify.
For the allotment numbers.
Yeah,
For the-
but
them.
feedback to them. Ah,
Oh, we haven't fixed them yet,
no.
yeah? Happy with those?
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
we can do them for just materials.
So
Yeah.
everyone get the same.
Not same number.
Bullfield,
Yeah,
tenancy.
Bullfield. I've only had one,
Have you?
yeah. Okay. At the moment. So we put out for 1 year,
Yeah.
and we were looking in offers exceeding 780. This has come in for an offer as 850 for annual payment for Bullfield. So it's met the terms,
Yeah. Yeah.
okay?
Yeah.
Happy to accept.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
am I able to offer them a year's tenancy for this?
Yeah.
For
Happy.
1 year,
Sorry?
1 year.
Yes,
Yeah.
I know
Yeah.
it was only offered at 1 year. If you were
Yeah.
extending, we'd have to put it out to notification
Because
again.
they did put it for 3 years with COVID, John.
Yeah, but we did put it out for tender only for 1 year, because
Right.
you asked me to,
Yeah.
okay?
Yeah. So that's that.
So this was accepted, so we're accepting the offer of 850 for excuse me if I'm saying the surname incorrectly, for Lydia Farquharson. Apologies if it's, so we're accepting the offer for 1 year. Okay,
Yeah.
yeah.
Caretaker, this month's priorities.
Okay, so he's been working on levelling the areas in the cemetery, and he's received some positive feedback from people. We're going to look at some further areas with people that are regular down there. So, we've used all the soil that you were able to get us, Paul. We might need some more. Will that be okay, councillors, to get a couple more bags of soil? Sorry?
Some more soil.
Yes,
Yeah. Yeah. It's
just-
needed, it's needed.
for levelling the areas. He has seeded as well, we're hoping that'll come through. The other thing he would have liked to have done is grind the stumps out.
Yeah, to get some prices for that.
Well, he would, you want to quote rather than just hiring one? He would have just hired.
Can we?
He can hire them, yes.
Can we do it without 3 quarters?
Well, he can hire, he's our caretaker, he can
Right.
hire equipment to do it, to do his role.
As long as they can do it, it's fine.
Yeah, we're not getting someone else in to do it, we're
Yeah.
just hiring equipment.
What are we going to do with the stumps that's in the cemetery now?
Take them out.
He's gonna
Yeah.
grind them.
all of them.
So we might as well have his time.
You may as well, the two that were made into seats, they aren't very nice, they want taking out, grinding out. The next two, and on your left hand side there's like a piece with 3 or 4 stumps in there, rotten, isn't there? You buried them with your chippings last week or two.
At the side near the hedge?
Yes.
Where there's been a tree planted?
Yes.
Do you remember we saw that tree that was planted there?
Well, there's 3 or 4 stumps there want taking out. And then that can be levelled out and made in where it can be maintained a lot easier. While machines here, let's have them all done.
Because my only concern was that tree that's been planted in front of where them stumps are.
Is it still living or dead?
I don't know, but it was alive when we saw it in winter, but it's out front, it's going to create another problem again,
Well, those other stumps want taking out.
and then move it.
Is the tree too big to move?
But it's
It's
only
only a
Saturday.
baby.
Yeah, so you could
Oh.
move it then.
But as I said, there's that one that was chopped off, that third tree, that one's taken out. I know it's only 6-inch thing, but it's a problem at Grassman.
If I find out how much this grinder's going to cost, are you happy if it's under the limit that I can authorise, are you happy for him to go ahead and get it?
Well, it's hiring a machine, it should be under that.
Yeah.
I do.
Yeah. We're getting to vote,
Yeah.
asking to vote that we're happy for me to do.
Oh, right, we've got to take a vote on it, please.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes, yes, yeah, yeah.
And then the only other thing on that, the cemetery, we have RDC do the waste for that one bin.
That's 300 and odd pound a year.
Yes. You just think we can get a better service elsewhere, don't you?
Well, if you want to put
You think we could have a bigger bin?
1100 litre bin,
Yeah,
you'd have to check the price, because
Yeah.
this is to me, it's 18 plus VAT every time it's emptied.
yeah,
But you might be dearer obviously because I'm under contract with them.
yeah.
But maximum time between is 28 days. So, and I don't know what size your bin is you've got now.
It's only like a
You might
large
get 4 of them
household.
into one of those.
Oh, you get a lot more farming. That one in your yard,
Well, I haven't got any. Yeah.
that one that was in your yard,
Yeah.
oh, you get about 10 of them bins
It was
each.
a young Bruni.
You get about,
You know, I think it could be cheaper. What I would do is ring Brunton's up.
Yeah.
Give Brunton's a ring and ask them what they can do here.
I mean, Pickering Cemetery, it's gone off them wheelie bins into skips.
But not only that, you can put other rubbish in. And he'll lose anything to going through the suite,
Yeah,
you see.
yeah. Okay, so I'll review that again.
The only thing you might have to do is transfer from a big one, because people might start using it. Like they've been washing cars up there.
We can have a look on it, Paul, can we?
Yeah.
That's soft one.
Yeah, so we've got a lock on it.
Yeah, but we want people to be able to put their floral waste in it.
Yeah, that's what I say, you might have to do that.
Well, I might have to have a smaller bin near the gate.
I think you've got to try that one, see what your prices are, try it, if you're supposed to start abusing it, you lock that one, put a little one there, and then you transfer one into the other.
Oh,
So is that
it's
straight
that
in the
big one
allotment?
called compost heap is at the moment.
No, well, I couldn't get it personally,
Near
There-
that gate.
They're all broken, aren't they? They want
Are
rid
they all
of.
broken?
Yeah, they've no
Yeah.
lids on them. They want getting
Right,
rid
yeah.
of.
Yeah.
Right up.
what?
Well, 3 bins.
There's 3 wheelie bins at the side of the,
Oh,
Compost. What
Yeah.
was compost heap?
yeah, without
Council
lids.
can take them away then.
We'll get big bin and chuck them in.
yeah.
Yeah, the council will get them to take them away and bring you some new ones.
But we only have, I don't think they're ours.
They aren't
Oh.
ours.
I think they've been dumped there.
Oh, right, okay.
See what your
Can we
big bin
dump them up
costs.
at the tip then?
Yeah.
The bigger than the normal one, so.
Yeah. They are.
Okay, so I'll find press that, so 12.
Right, grass cutting contract.
Okay, so I need to get better, so this will be ongoing
Right.
because we need to work on this before we start cutting.
Yeah, yeah.
he's dropped the map he has off, which I want to get some proper copies of. I'm going to get it scanned, so that we've got copies for you to write on.
Right.
So there's some photos he's took that printed off for you to have a look at, to work through.
Right.
But we need to look at what needs doing every time he cuts. Are we cutting anywhere that we shouldn't be cutting? So I've now got this back in our hands, so I'll get it copied,
Yeah.
then to you, so you
Yeah.
can have a good study at it before
Well,
next
that,
month.
that list you gave me, it was, you know, a lot of streets that even haven't a blade of grass in.
And, well, it was just a full list of streets. It was just a full list.
I've been round, I've had a ride round and, you know, it's just a waste of time going riding on because there was about 5, 6 streets, 7 streets straight up, no
Yeah.
grass.
So I've got this, I'll take a proper copy of
Yeah.
it, and then I believe it's the dark areas, which are the grass areas that he cuts.
Right.
Yeah, that's.
I don't understand why we've got no's and yeses on it.
Right, well, when we have a study, we'll find
Yeah,
out.
but there's a working copy for you now, but I will get more copies for you. But I'll get copies for you before next meeting, and then you can decide what we're doing.
Right. Right.
So if that's ongoing,
Yeah. Yeah.
And we have to cut the grass has to be cut onto the entrance of the villages, but not Friday, isn't it?
say that again to me.
The entrance to the village has to be kept clean, cut and tidy, paid for by the North Riding County Council.
No, if you ought to pay for the visibility areas.
Yes, and that's entrance into the village, isn't it?
It'll be them and the, what they declare as corners.
Junction. The junction, won't it?
Yeah. Yeah, 13th Street.
Yeah, street lights review, any updates?
No changes in what upgrades. There is a bit I want to go through with the budget with that, but we can
Yeah,
discuss
yeah.
that later.
Yeah.
So there's none. Yeah, let me catch up. Yeah, go on.
14, asset register, street furniture.
Yeah, caretaker's been mending some of the benches. I've added the clocks to the asset register.
Right. Yeah.
They've gone on there till anyone declares we shouldn't, because we seem to be paying for the upkeep of them. So I've put them on the asset register, basically so then they're sat there for the insurance.
What's the electric for this one?
We pay for everything for this one and the electric.
Yeah.
So they're covered for insurance as well, because if they're on the asset register. I've not put the defib on, because we can't have access to it to maintain it. We've got no access to it, so to me it's not our asset.
You probably there, you know?
We've been refused access to it, so it's not our asset.
Oh, being refused that.
Yeah.
Yeah, right,
Right.
so forget it then, don't we?
Yeah.
That's different.
Yeah.
So I've updated the asset register for that. I've added your gritter as well.
Oh, that you found, yes.
Do we have access to some glasses then, Specsavers, seeing everybody's missed them last time?
Oh, we have to keep it building, haven't we?
I suppose that's the point.
Paying no access to it.
The shed?
Oh.
I've got one. Well, it's in the...
You have one, but we had no access to it whatsoever.
Right.
Mm.
Okay. So that's that really.
15 is councillor vacancy, election on Thursday, and just good luck to the two of you that are sat here. The other one's not here.
Maybe don't want good luck.
Right,
Right, hang on a minute, so I've lost something here.
you've
Oh,
lost.
oh, no, I'm alright, yeah.
You all right?
Yeah,
Right.
hang on.
There's one there.
Ah, there we are, there we are. Okay,
Right, cemetery. Consider reducing the DD grave.
okay, so basically, when the prices were changed, increase the double-deck graves in proportionately. Now, it's more beneficial for the cemetery that we have double-deck graves
Yeah,
rather than 2 single graves, because it takes less space. So the proposal is that we abolish the EROB of £600 for double-deck graves, and it's the same as a single grave,
yeah,
and that the first interment to a double-deck grave is the same as a single grave,
right,
and then the second interment would be £200, so it's just a £200 extra for a second person.
Yeah.
So it makes 2 burials in a double-deck grave cheaper than 2 single graves. So that is the proposal.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So
Wants to be.
councillors vote on that, please. Was it you? Sorry, I missed. I was looking down. Resolved to amend to propose policies.
Right. And then the second one is to consider non-residential status, and only move care issues.
Okay, so I was asked by a councillor to put this on. Basically, what was said was that if someone was born and bred here but had to move away from a rural area to be looked after in twilight of life, so it's to consider how we change the wording of it in the thing, so we can allow somebody that has to come back and be buried as a parishioner. So should we add something like that it's to the councillor's discretion to decide, so that they can open it up to somebody that's lived here all their life? Or how would you like to?
How it's worded.
You're looking at me. Yeah, it wants altering.
So do I add that this is to the so I add to the price list that this is to the councillor's discretion on application from somebody coming back to the area after
Or wanting a relation buried
that's been a resident.
in the village.
If they've been a resident, they're entitled to
To
it.
it, yeah.
Yeah,
At the
yeah.
moment
they
it
have
had,
I mean, I went to a funeral the other day and residents from Pickering had to go out where to Selby. She was down there for a bit. She couldn't get anywhere near here. So, I mean, how do you do with a person like that? You know, she's been in this area all her life, that's it, it's good enough for me.
do I just take away, it says in here, non-resident parishioner change would be applicable if the burial is requested after the person has left the parish for more than 10 years, living with relatives or in nursing homes or residential. Thing is, people are living longer now. 10 years can be quite short,
Yeah,
really.
so that's quite short for some people.
But how do we open it up without making it just a free-for-all?
Well, that they have been residents here before, you know, I mean, they've got to prove that, haven't they?
Yeah.
How do you want me to word it?
Can you do something and send it out to us?
So make this ongoing and come back to it next.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Just don't want to go to that.
Yeah,
What about
okay.
the figures, the
Ongoing,
letters and,
Just want it
review.
worded right.
Yeah, yeah. Not a problem.
Right. Next bit on it.
Yeah, just let me find it. Okay.
Memorial.
Yeah.
Consider amendment to a memorial application.
Yeah, this is basically just adding a couple of areas into this so that we've got the right information. At the moment we've got a problem in the cemetery that we've got nearly 20 memorials that are unsafe.
Right.
So sometimes in the application it comes in and it's only the funeral director's details on it. So it's just basically adding extra details onto the application so that we know the person who is actually the owner.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay?
Yeah, it's down to the owners, I would say, to sort it.
So
I'm going to say most headstones have the,
new ones do, but
The older ones don't.
the problem we've got, like this month,
and I noticed on the agreement that you're, instead of being left a year without a headstone on, now they've dropped it to 6 months. I think that's a bit soft.
yeah, and I did add the sentence, the council do recommend longer than 6 months
Yeah.
to the,
Settled.
but because it's standard practice 6 months, it was dicey for us to extend it, but I just added the sentence, the council do recommend waiting longer. Yeah,
Yeah,
to cover us a little bit,
yeah.
yeah? So I ask for a vote for the changes to be
Vote.
accepted.
Vote
Are you happy?
changes? Yeah,
Yeah.
change that.
Well, that's a good idea. Until we get there.
Right.
So,
Next one is to consider marketing.
yeah, we've got 20 memorials that are unsafe. So it's to consider putting a marker post in front of each to see if we've got anyone come forward for a month before we actually get someone to lay them down.
Right, yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
ask for a vote.
Vote on that.
What about the gaps that we found?
There are unmarked graves. I'm still going on with updating the database, but there are graves that are unmarked.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah,
Quite hard.
yeah.
Really?
Mm. Well, that's ongoing. We've resolved to put the plugs up and then it'll be ongoing when we get any feedback.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. 17.
Training, councillors, clerk, expectation of new councillors.
Okay, so one of the things that has come, I know one of the things that some of the councillors don't like are these Zoom training sessions. One of the new things that YLCA have put on, I thought maybe later on in the year might be quite good. They're offering to send an officer out to come and talk to the whole council at once,
That's better.
so that it can be aimed around a
Certain.
thing that you, I can't get the words out now. A subject you want, or various subjects,
Yeah,
Yeah.
which may be helpful, especially after the new councillor has come on.
Yeah.
May be useful after May, but you have to book in. So this could be something to consider after the next meeting.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Definitely.
yeah.
Yeah.
It is during the day, though, is the only issue. So it'd be just picking when somebody's not too busy pointing walls.
It might be a ladder, you never know.
Ready got to rise.
Right, next one is grants.
Okay, right, Grant, we've had the play park apply. I just need more information from the play park to go with this.
Right.
I've got the application through, but we just need the bank details behind, okay?
Yeah, we did say that, you
So-
did that, so,
I'll bring it to the next meeting, okay?
yeah.
Going through trying to prepare for the year end, we still haven't got enough details from the light committee.
Right,
We have not got what they've spent the money out, we haven't got their bank details to match what they applied for. So councillors, please could you chase? I need that for the year end, especially with the amount of grant they received.
Davis.
So the play part's ongoing.
Send you that.
Notice boards, yeah.
Okay, I wrote to National Parks. We have got permitted development for both these notice boards.
Right,
We did have a non-resident write to us about notice boards. It was inappropriate to read. It's nothing to do with us. It was to do with another group.
oh,
So it was not appropriate to be reading it out at this meeting. Okay. Basically, I had to put an outline to North Yorkshire Parks of the type of notice board to put up. You had in your packs, didn't you,
Yeah.
pictures?
Yeah.
You wanted something conservative to go in the cemetery, so
Yeah.
it just blends in,
yeah,
okay? And then something for the green area.
yeah.
What I put on that one is just the basic notice boards. I have looked at other sites that do notice boards, they are a lot more expensive.
Right.
You could have a wooden one on the green, you know, a proper wood handmade one, they'd be a lot more expensive. It would be good if we could get the one up in the cemetery, which is just a basic one, sooner rather than later. And then if you wanted more time to consider the style, the one on the green you want.
Yeah,
Were
yeah.
we going to take one of those?
The only thing I was wondering, are they going to meet our needs? Are they going to fit? Are they? We were wondering about the ones outside the Hill Institute that are ours,
Right.
whether we could use them at the cemetery. Do you think they'd fit in or would they stand out? Whereas something plain would blend in.
You know, something with an oaks around to match the oak woodwork that's in there.
Well, that they're not wood, that's wood look-alike.
Yeah,
I'm wondering if them white ones are fit me. I think they'd look.
stand out like a sore thumb.
Mm.
Well, that's okay.
I think it'd spoil the porch.
Mm.
Whereas that is just plain and simple.
Well, that'll be, it'll be like a painting job, and it'll be permanent, won't it? You won't want painting every year to do it.
They don't. That doesn't need pit. That's it's not wood.
Yes, it's coloured plastic, is that?
Yeah.
That'll be a better thing,
Has that
because
got a door?
there'll be no maintenance
Door.
on it.
It's locked. Yeah, it's lockable.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That sounds better.
Yeah.
That'll be all right in there.
And then we'll have to go on with the other one.
So can we vote for
Vote
doing the
on that
cemetery
one.
one?
Yeah.
So we'll go ahead with the cemetery one now and just
Yeah. Then we'll sort out the green one.
yeah. So and that is just a straight price because the locks are in with it. Whereas there was a lot more things to decide with that, like if you want the legs the same colour and you wanted it all lockable, didn't you? But let's just double check it's the right style.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cemetery. The only thing I was thinking about with that one, can we mount it on some lats rather than on the stone?
I think the best thing to do is to get it first.
Yeah, and then you'll know
And
what to
sort it
do.
out.
Yeah. So I was worried it would twist if it went to the stone.
Get the thing first.
Yeah.
Don't let Mr. Charles sort it.
So that's then finished.
That's then finished. Right. Parish plan.
Yeah, basically I had a quick chat with the Molten Clare. They've just completed theirs.
Right.
It's just cost them £20,000 to do theirs.
Jesus.
There is funding out there with North Orange County Council with their locality funding. We still have had no more volunteers to take it on. At the moment it's still ongoing.
Right. But has there been much change since the last one was done? You don't know, do you?
I honestly don't know in depth. It's what the community wants in a parish plan. I do question, with all due respect, if it was broad enough with the other organisations and with national parks, but whether we can get them involved. And it's a massive piece of work. It's
Yeah.
whether there is two ways of tackling this. You can either go totally new, or you actually can review your old one. But it's a massive piece of work and it'll need money thrown at it.
He's nodding
And-
his head.
No.
And it's equating the benefit of it. I still aren't convinced the benefit outweighs the cost of it.
Yeah.
I still have to be convinced.
Yeah.
And the Molten Clark couldn't give me any reassurance of it.
Well, I'm not surprised that they've paid for it. It's ridiculous.
Well, it isn't, we did that a few years ago, the plan of the village, what they were presuming building on the lot. The lot didn't come under the national parks, because the national parks aren't on the area they were discussing.
That'll be the right,
The national parks don't control all the villages that are
No.
lining the village where they don't go.
Yeah.
yeah. So it's ongoing at the moment,
Yeah,
Chair.
let's see if anybody comes forward.
Who wants to
Well,
take it
can't
on?
do it
Yeah.
with two, can we?
No, not really, no. Right, new plannings?
So basically, the first point on the planning was the village car park, the bridge, and the top is the response that National Parks put to it. They put planning in, they don't want to particularly go ahead with it at the moment, so they're just doing the repairs.
No, and it looks a mess, but there we go.
Yeah, so there's nothing to do with that. There was 2 planning claims in, but I believe one has been withdrawn because it's not on the portal anymore.
Oh.
There was one, we work on chimney stack, but it's not on the portal at the moment, so I've taken it. There was
Yeah.
no extra details for me to bring apart from that, 'cause
Right,
it's not on the portal.
right.
So, the final release, the planning you've got is for milk parlour,
Yes,
So if you-
charity.
so if you can pass them across. Well, it's just the different, it's the out, it'll,
The area and
The area, I'm gonna say, I think we all know charity,
Yeah,
don't we?
yeah.
Many a barbecue down there.
Yeah, June's
Yeah.
yeah. It's not Chester's, it's 201, isn't it?
Gills now.
Yeah.
it's a very posh milk parlour.
There's a lot of cows.
How many cows are left in the
300.
At least the ones we get fresh milk.
What's that?
The ones we get fresh milk.
Would be nice, wouldn't it, if they put a machine at the bottom of the yard, yeah. Rather than stuff you get from the supermarket.
Any comments on the planning?
No. There's always big cows down that road.
Can I have is it you, Parish Council supporting the
Oh, yes,
application?
yes,
Can I have a vote?
Yeah.
Vote, support the application?
Oh, you're not discussing this one?
That's the one that's withdrawn.
Oh, that's the one that's withdrawn,
Yeah.
right, okay.
Yeah.
You're in yellow, don't worry.
Right, discuss matters raised by the parish clerk, responsible finance officer.
Right then, okay. So this is the bank balance as of the end of the month.
Yeah.
So the adjusted bank balance was 48,259.51.
Yeah.
Barclays, we're getting nowhere.
Fast, don't you?
And even more, they're actually what I've seen at the moment, they're actually closing parish council accounts because Barclays are tightening up on certain banks that they don't want to be involved with.
Oh.
So there seem to be a lot of parish councils receiving letters saying that they're closing accounts, so this is probably why we're not getting anywhere.
Yeah, well, I went in today and she said it's still ongoing.
Yeah, but there's apparently in the last week a lot of letters gone out to parish councils saying their accounts are being closed. So I'm expecting that coming. But we've done Lloyd's, haven't we?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
All of we're unable to put Councillor Holsworth off because he doesn't have email.
The rest of us
but the
are
rest
on,
of us
aren't
are
we?
on.
Yeah,
That will take 6 weeks, so hopefully that'll give us a little bit more movement. You've had the payments list in your
Yeah.
finance
yeah.
pack.
Somewhere.
Can we have 2 councillors to sign the payments
I know,
list,
I'll let
please? There was another funeral director that decided to pay us twice again.
Oh, what's that? All right, okay. Oh, we like that, don't we?
So that's, so if you could just sign that one again, to do the refund.
What they do is sending us 2 bills.
It's 'cause some of them are doubles and one part pays you cheque and then the next one pays you with bank transfer.
And it gets confusing.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
They wrote their own checklist.
Sorry again.
Oh, that's fine. Talking at ink. That's
Yeah.
fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sign, and that's,
Anywhere.
two of you sign, just anywhere on that payment sheet, yes, please.
On all the sheets.
No,
Oh,
just the
just
top
on top.
payment,
Oh,
just
right.
needs to top, it's only, and just another council, and that's the £400 showing you that they paid twice, so just sign that we give them the refund,
Oh, right, yeah.
just anywhere on it.
Yeah.
Thank you, thank you. So, website, been publishing stuff up there. Okay, so, I've been following a question from last month. I've been going through everything from the past 3 years to understand the question.
Yeah.
Basically, we were asked why was the figure for the street lights out the blue. In the 1920 accounts, it clearly states phase 1 purchase.
Yeah.
In the 2021 accounts, it clearly says the phase 2 purchase.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In the budget that was agreed in December 21, that we're running to the end of March this year, clearly states a reserve of 20,000 for the last reserve. What is new? What am I missing?
Well, the last what we were doing was down Westgate, down that.
Yeah, but there's £53,000 there that has been in the account since December 21. What is it that we're not getting across? Why are false figures out there?
Yeah.
Why are people promoting on Facebook false figures?
You tell me.
Because I don't understand.
Causing issues.
The
They
budget-
shouldn't be doing that.
The December 21 budget clearly shows a 34,000 overspend.
Wow.
So why was the budget that you agreed in December 22 such a shock? I'm at a loss of why people are sharing on social media that it's such a shock, because the budget before is twice the overspend.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay, so I put in the reserves that this shows. They also, my other question is, there was a reserve in this December 21
Yeah.
for the Beck Silt. Why? Why does the parish council have a reserve for that when they don't own it?
That's a good question.
They have no legal responsibility for the Beck, so why are we holding
Yeah.
£5,000 for it? Can the council answer me that?
Well, we had a vet group doing it.
So we had a vet group somewhere.
But why is it coming out of...
It,
It
well,
shouldn't be.
go back 15, 20 years.
Is
The,
it?
the parish council always had some man out of the village to go and cut the weed in the river and do it for us.
Yeah.
Don't know why, but it always has been done, as far as I can remember back. I'll go further back on that for me.
Because what I understand from what I read, the Beck responsibility falls on the householders either
Yes,
side.
yes. So
Yeah.
why you're holding that is ridiculous. And when there's a vet group as well there was a vet group, I don't know whether there still is, but they had funding.
So, I'm wondering if... So, should we put it on the agenda for next
Yes.
month to vote to move that out of that
Yeah.
reserve?
Yes,
Yeah,
Because then you'll have a full council.
yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Oh, it's bad, my pen's given up.
No, do you want one?
You're alright.
Got another one in the bag.
Okay. So you've all had a copy of both budgets. I've put both budgets on the web so they're clearly seen.
Yeah,
The reserves, I think that should go on
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
to show us where it is. Obviously
Yeah.
that'll change as you move things in and out. And then next month we'll be doing the year end, so the net positions in the cost centres will be clearer, so we can
Yeah.
release them as well.
So we know where we're
Yeah.
going then, don't we?
So I'll put them reserves out for now. And the no,
Oh, the
external. So I was asked about the external audit report. So So that's the basic reason I went back 3 years. So when I came in December, the basic priority was to get the budget and the precepts sorted.
Yeah.
But there was email sat there from SBK, which is PK Little John. So they needed sorted out. With the external auditor, you are very much led by them. You're answering questions exactly as they want. The first thing they wanted to know was what underpins the asset register. That's why I pushed that initially as a priority, to get the asset register up to date. And the street lights on it, I couldn't underpin the fee that was on it, the amount, because it didn't relate to the transfer cost. So we resolved that. Then they wanted me to analyse the last 3 years of accounts, so the income element. So the income element is your precept, your cemetery, your grants, donations or anything like that, VAT refunds. So basically, that's why I pulled all the spreadsheets out, sent the lot, got an email back saying, you've sent too much. Will you reanalyse? So I reanalysed, pinpointed where the differences was. Basically, in some years, you received a large grant, and then in other years, received VAT. That's why they couldn't correlate it. And because the variance report hadn't mentioned this, and then you had the uplift in the cemetery fees, which also clouded it. So I had to analyse it back and send 3 years accounts with all the analyses, telling them exactly what the variances were. When they received that, they closed it. It's not my choice, it's not our choice if they close it. Once they've received the information they see fit, they close, and that's why it was closed. They still have on record things that I have put in for last year that I say is going to affect this year. So even though the 21, 22 years in closed, they still have things that I flagged that affect this year.
Right.
Like we've refunded £3,400 of funeral fees that have been overpaid. The VAT that I've reclaimed for the last 3 years.
So we've been in a right mess really, haven't we?
Yeah, we have, yeah.
I will not answer that question. And the asset register that we've rebuilt.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's why they've closed it. I've not closed it. They choose to close it. Does that answer councillor's questions?
When we come to the audit, we are going to have everything this year, because whoever's there will deal with that work properly, like it hasn't
We'll
been.
get that done
What
properly this year.
there is thing on the end the agenda we're going to, but I would like to suggest that before I leave, you offer a community open time for people to come and look at things as I understand it.
Yeah.
Will you be present if anybody asks a question?
Yes, before I leave
Thank
for the
you.
next clerk, I will do a mini open day for people to look and ask things.
Can't be any fairer than that.
Yeah, then I've left you as clean as I possibly can as a locum.
So a lot cleaner than it was when you came on.
Yes, Chair.
I'll let you sort your paperwork out there.
Yeah, you can.
Any correspondence?
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Right, okay. So the first thing was, we had a letter with problems with blocking driveways. As a parish council, we don't really have a lot of powers
No,
to
that's
deal.
down to the highway.
Highways.
surely. Yeah.
So, and them emailing their North Yorkshire County Councillor, because
Yeah.
they have power to deal with highways. So there isn't a lot we can do
No.
here
No.
with the problem of people, so
And if they
recommending.
buy houses in a street that doesn't have parking, then.
So
tough luck.
I'll acknowledge that and recommend they
Yeah.
email Councillor Oswald.
As this week, I was just having a ride round. I forget the name of it. I call it East Hill Gardens at the top. I came to turn out of there, and I look into my right, I can't see nothing. Because there's some, like, bollards, you know, plastic bollards in the road, and they're just totally blinding the road off. Those want removing.
But again, that's highways, it's
Yeah,
not.
it's reporting to
Right.
highways and.
But as I said, but I thought, this is ridiculous. You can't see nothing, unless they were on you.
Yeah.
Highways.
So this is highways and emailing the North
Yeah.
Yorkshire County Council
Yeah.
representative. Okay, the other thing is, it's been reported that we have bird flu in the area.
I do, but that makes a change, doesn't it? It's been here for
So-
some time.
Anyone with stock, advised to contact them. Okay. The Women's Institute on the Monday, the 8th of May, would like to use the green to put some stalls up.
Yeah, we used to have a diary carry for that. So that we don't get double booked.
Called Outlook. Do you think we're alright? Would it be alright to
That's the weekend of the, what's it called?
coronation?
Yeah, yeah.
So when's that?
Monday
Mon-
Monday the 8th, is it bank holiday? Yeah, bank
Yeah.
holiday.
Yes,
It
it's
must
a
be
bank
the 8th,
holiday, yeah,
Monday.
yeah,
Saturday
yeah.
the 8th, start again. Monday the 8th.
Yeah.
Any objections, councillor?
No. Is that for the whole day, or just the morning, or just the afternoon?
10 till 4,
Right,
maximum time.
right.
I've had a request for a bench outside the allotments. Would that need to be a request, another permitted thing for national parks?
I think that was North
I don't
Riding.
think the one next door,
I think that was,
further on did.
that was North Riding, because they refused, they wanted to put one in front of the cemetery,
Yeah.
and it was refused. And that's why it went on there.
Okay. So who do I, is it just like when we do the North Yorkshire Street furniture request? Is that what you mean? You put an application in
I
for...
don't know, somebody asked to put a bench in front of the cemetery, and it was refused.
Yeah,
And that is where they had to put it further on,
so
near the far end of the allotment.
can we see any objection to this if I find out if we can have one there?
No objection.
No?
In fact, it's a beautiful place to have
Yeah.
one.
Yeah.
I can't see councillor Charles, I can't see if he's scowling, I can't see if he's scowling at me.
No, it's fine, it's well looked about it.
Yeah. Because it is an allotment, ex-allotment hold, well,
Yeah.
it's an allotment
Yeah,
holder, so
yeah.
I'll send an application in.
And see what happens.
I mean, to where it is, where that one is, there's always somebody sat on that one.
Yeah.
It's,
Yeah.
when you look
It's a nice
over onto
view.
it,
Well, it's a
Valley,
nice
it's
view
beautiful.
down the village, isn't it?
It's like, it's beautiful, it's a beautiful view.
Could do with some new benches, all these benches are having repaired. Right.
Actually, I bet
There's
you
a lot of
remember
benches
them.
disappeared over the years.
Come again.
No objection. Okay.
Number 24. Or even that, it's on that.
23 is done, and
24.
matters arising from use of the next one to go into the closed session of the next meeting is the complaint to the Parish Council. It was requested that it happens next month when you have a full council,
Right, okay,
okay?
yeah,
And is that okay with everyone? It goes into the closed session of the next
Yeah.
one. And we put it to full council rather than a
yeah,
subcommittee.
yeah. And then the last one is to confirm dates for future meetings.
So you had your dates of your April and May.
And then,
The 9th one is for your APM, your public meeting,
right,
okay? Is that all right? So you wanted that as a separate meeting?
You know, we do have it
Yeah.
separate.
Parish meeting?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so that you've set in the 9th.
Yeah.
Okay? Happy
Yeah.
with that?
yeah, yeah. So now we're on to residents.
No, 26.
Oh, it
Public.
says closed.
No,
Public.
20, here, look at that. No,
Employment.
yeah. There you are.
Oh, advert clerk. Well, that's not on this one. So
I
you...
know you've printed the one before the change.
Well, I'm sorry. I can't keep printing them off.
Yes,
Right, so, you are now in a legal position, as of the 1st of March, to advertise for a clerk,
Right.
okay? So I sent you a proposed
Yes.
vacancy
Yeah, that's
advert. Spent a lot of time writing this very carefully because of how much the last few years have cost you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Are you happy for this advert to go out?
Yes.
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 That was a unanimous yes.
Yes,
wasn't
it was. Yes. Yes.
So this will go on the YLCA website.
And it'll go on the board outside as well.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, there's no reason it can't.
When's closing date?
It isn't firm, I just said of an interview the interviews will take place in May.
So we need a closing date really, don't we?
Yeah, it's 30th of April, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I think one needs to go on the board outside, and everybody in the village can see it then, can't we?
And I suggest full council interview.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Good luck to the new clerk. Right, you now got your public session.
Right, we've now got public session now. But please be aware that I will not be answering any questions. The secretary will be making notes. Yes, sir.
There's recently been a lot of activity on social media about the way that you handled cutting down of the trees in the cemetery. Councillor Donna Firth stated that all the trees in the cemetery were rotten and or diseased and needed removing for safety reasons. Can the Parish Council publish the report on these trees, if there was one, on the website, so that all the residents of the village can see exactly what's wrong with the trees? Secondly, Councillor
One
Olsworth
question at a
asked...
time, please. Can we have somebody else ask a question next, please?
Can I finish, please? Because it's all relating to this, because you have things to address about these trees, and not just what I mentioned. Councillor Olsworth asked about the indemnity of the person who cut the trees down. So was the person who cut the trees down qualified to cut them down? And finally, who took all the logs away, and was there any payment received by the parish council for the logs?
However, what's the question?
Good question.
They disappeared.
They disappeared.
Anyway, I'm handing this, and I would like it minuted that I have asked these questions.
Yeah.
Computer.
And the reply.
Like a report.
That's it all. Yes?
Just following on from where I started earlier, with regard to you looking for another venue, the OGS is used regularly by other groups. It's a long time since I read the Hasselmore will and the details of the users and the rules governing that are on the Hasselmore will. As it turns out, I have an appointment at County Archives on Friday on something totally different. If you'd like me to obtain a copy of the will while I'm there, I will bring it back for your
Yes,
attention.
please.
Okay. Is that a yes?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, yes.
On the subject of venues, what's wrong with the village hall? It's enormous, there's hundreds of chairs. Nobody mentioned the village hall.
We picked the grammar school because the grammar school has the internet. The village hall does not have the internet, and this spot doesn't have the internet.
Is anyone using the internet?
We could have used it for the planning tonight if we'd had internet.
We have used it in the past, yes.
And the grammar school's free.
Yeah.
You can't charge us all things.
There is a charge.
They did say they were going to let it off at £15 per session.
That was it.
Morning, afternoon or night.
Yeah.
It's £15 for each one.
That was it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's £15 a session.
All right. So it was great.
Who's the one up there?
Pardon?
Who's the one?
There's one here.
Right.
Can the council provide clarity and confirm who the recipients are of all the payments made and which they approved at the February meeting? And also separate out the two employees' salaries rather than have a lump sum covering January and February. If you look at your minutes, it's on the minutes that you just approved. And there's no recipients whatsoever of who's being paid.
That's per employment.
It used to be that,
Yeah.
didn't it? Yeah. It used to be that way before, and this clerk hasn't.
Well, it was done in December.
Yes,
The December was
thank you,
done.
thank you. This clerk hasn't been onto that system. The old clerk had each one individually.
She did the December one.
Oh,
She clarified who, all the recipients. If you look at your minutes, there is no clocks. Who mended the clocks? Or who
That-
serviced the clocks? The website, there's something there for website transparency, £260. Who is that invoice paid to? For £260?
Can't put suppliers' names in the minutes. That was something YLCA can correct it.
So at what
We
point?
we know who's had the money, but we can't put it out
we
there.
can't put a name on
It
it.
It's
seems
not
to be
put a name
out
on it.
there.
GDPR.
Isn't this public, are these public papers?
You can view them, but we can't put them on the
The
website.
council that's
Well,
concerned.
can we have them viewed, please?
At the public session, in the public viewing of accounts, yeah.
Right, and when can I request that?
When the public said it's in July time,
July?
yes,
Are these public documents that we can look at
Once a year.
once a year.
once a year?
Mm.
So you've changed, without it being voted, that you don't put who the invoices are paid to?
I've just followed GDPR.
So you have decided, you
No.
as the
No,
temporary
I've
clerk
No, follow
has
the
decided.
rules.
But it's not been ministered anywhere.
I've just followed the law.
You followed the law, right, okay.
Governed by laws and regulations, aren't they? A lot of hands going up round here. Yes, then.
Hiya. So the ball field at the minute, it was on 3-year tenancy and now it's gone back to 1 year. I was wanting it to be a longer tenancy, possibly 3 years again, on a few different grounds, but one of which that the stress of yearly having a bidding war and the worry of losing your field and having nowhere to keep your horse is obviously quite a big concern of mine, and also the fact that, you know, I want to maintain these fields, and right now for my other field I've booked in seeding, harrowing, etc. I've had to hold off on that because I didn't know whether I was going to get it again this year. It's just the uncertainty of having that every year. Would it ever be a possibility of going back to 3 years?
It would have to be discussed with the council.
Yeah, it'll have to be discussed on next month's.
And also, would it be possible to pay monthly? Because obviously there's been a 50% increase on last year, totally out of the blue, no reason for that.
That wasn't in the thing, no.
The suggested bid went up significantly from last year.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I can't hear you,
Sorry,
sorry.
I can't hear you. That would have to go out to tender again if you wanted to change the terms.
it would have to go out to tender again.
Yeah.
It didn't last time, so.
But you didn't pay monthly last time.
No, I didn't pay monthly last time. I mean, surely the parish council has other assets that they let out on a month-by-month basis, or with some kind of assurance that certain of the allotments go out every year for tender, and
Yes.
someone bids
Yeah,
them out if they can
every
bid you
year.
out.
Every year they go.
Right, okay. So there's no possibility of changing it to monthly payments without putting it back out to tender? It's the same amount of money, just spread over monthly. I mean, I don't know why that would be a massive issue.
We'd have to have a discussion with council and bring it back to the next meeting.
It's just a lot of money to part with when it's gone up 50% all in
It's
one.
still cheap.
Right, okay. Has anyone had a discussion with a landowner in Thornton that rents fields out as to what they charge?
Oh, you'll find one and get one.
I mean, you know, because I have another field that I let that isn't anywhere near that amount. I feel like you have other sources of income without having to increase that such a significant amount.
Next month's agenda, isn't it? We can discuss.
Yeah, it'll have to be on next month's
So it has to be vacated.
But the one
Yeah.
next month is obviously after the date then that the payment's supposed to be made. So what do I do then?
If you want to change the contract, it'd have to go out again to everybody, the same terms.
It didn't change last time, like it didn't go back out to tender the last time I went from 1 year to 3 years.
No, you didn't, but it was paid yearly, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was paid yearly.
Okay.
But I mean, you know, if I have to pay it now without having it going back out to tender and risk losing the field, then obviously I'll have to do that, but it would be nice if I could have it for 3 years instead of just the 1 year rolling, and having to have a bidding war potentially every year for it.
We'll discuss it.
So she'd have to vacate at the end of March and put it out
Yeah,
for longer.
yeah.
But then last time, I had it for a year and it was increased to 3, it wasn't put back out to tender for that. It was just agreed within the council.
Yeah, it was because of COVID, we weren't having meetings, so, yeah. And there were different councillors on.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, anybody
Well,
else?
no, that wasn't an answer, so what's the decision?
It will go on to next month's agenda.
In which case, I have to remove my 20-year-old horse from the field for a week to then put him back in. I'm having my other field sprayed, so I could do with, I can't have him in there after it's sprayed.
You can't make a decision now.
No,
You can't make a
no.
decision in
No.
public session.
No.
If
It'd
you
have
wanted
be
to change the
discussed
contract,
privately.
it would have to go out to tender, other people would have taken it on for 3 years longer. If you wanted, you decided you wanted it to go out to tender to be fair. If you are going to change the terms of the contract, it needs to stay in the same terms. The bid was put in as it stands now. It either stands now or it goes out to tender again on the new terms.
That's the same as it is, that's it.
Leave it as it is.
Yeah. Everything is paid annually, everything that council's paid once a year, that's it, isn't it? If it's allotments or anything, it's paid.
It's significantly more money than allotments.
Last question.
Yes, thank you. I submitted a complaint on the 16th of February in writing about your failure to act in accordance with the Equality Act 2010. I haven't received an acknowledgement of that complaint, contrary to your terms in your procedures. I would have liked to have received an acknowledgement of the complaint.
went to the chair, didn't it?
There has been no acknowledgement, and it's now 14 working days, and your policy is within 3 working
I
days.
sort of
So it's
copied.
2.5 weeks since I submitted a complaint.
She did reply, and it copied me in the reply.
No reply. Just that's the point I want to make. There's been no reply. Just wanted an acknowledgement of my complaint that it has been received.
Well, she's copied you in it, you'll have it there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Has she got her right email address?
Have we had it?
I thought we had.
Yeah, I think we did, didn't we? Yeah.
Because you were blind countercopied in it.
So can I assume it has been received?
Yeah, because she did reply.
Because it
to
was sent to you
copied
as
me.
well as to the chair.
Yeah, it was replied to, so I couldn't check it.
Well, I would like a written
Joy,
acknowledgement,
Well, I
please.
suggest if they've got the reply, it'll be dated and timed, it will send you a
Oh,
copy.
fine.
Yes.
Yeah, we should find it. Can
That was last question, we're now at 15:15.
Yeah.
I
We'll
will,
have to close the meeting.
just one
Close the
last,
meeting.
what's your